6 points for Nowitzki, 5 for Butler, and a timeout called by the Spurs.
All that early great execution by the Spurs that gave them the momentum has quickly shifted over now to the Dallas Mavericks. Dirk Nowitzki, no matter how tough you play him, he finds a way to get the shot off above the bigger opponent and converting.
It always ends up here. It always ends up with between us. Every year it seems we have to go through each other to get anywhere.
So over the years, we saw them so many times that it's been a great rivalry, but they won some, we won some, but, you know, obviously they still have what we want.
It's kind of like that. It's as good a rivalry as I believe there is in the league right now.
Last year, the Mavericks beat the Spurs in 5 games, and back in 06, it was the Mavericks beating the Spurs in a thrilling 7-game series en route to the NBA Finals, where they lost to the Miami Heat, winning the first 2 games and dropping the last 4. And that's the one thing the Mavericks want, what the Spurs have had. They've won 4 championships, and the Mavericks still looking for their first, as Manu Ginobili drives in for the layup. He has 6 of the Spurs 10. And that broke an 8-0 scoring streak by the Mavericks. Here is Marion. Keith Bogans has come into the game, and Parker on the steal. So Parker and Bogans, along with Ginobili, Duncan, and McDyess. Here is Ginobili with a 3, and Nowitzki cleared.
It was about a month of the season, Dick, where Manu Ginobili was the guy carrying the Spurs franchise. He came back, he was feeling good. He was also hoping that it showed them that he deserved a new contract, which they rewarded him with a new 3-year deal.
And he's going to become a father for the first time in a month, as his wife will give birth to twin boys, and he's very excited about that. Here is Ginobili finding Parker. Parker in the crowd, and Kidd knocks it out of bounds. Last touch by the Mavericks with 8 on the shot clock.
Dallas has such a big front line. You can penetrate and penetrate, but eventually you've got to make some perimeter shots because they're so big they close off the front of the rim.
Duncan against Dampier, and the slapping foul against Dampier. So Tim Duncan, and his playing time has diminished this year, and he feels a lot healthier than he ever has going into this postseason.
Yeah, well, these are the lowest numbers that he's put up during the regular season since his rookie season in the NBA, and that's because it's been a concerted effort by Greg Popovich to reduce his minutes so that come playoff time he could then extend his minutes and he'd still have a terrific Tim Duncan play.
Ginobili getting into McDyess, blocked by Marion. Sean Marion, his second block of the game, and here is Caron Butler against the bigger Duncan and throws it away. He was looking to get it to Dampier, who cut the other way.
Caron had a wide open shot that time after he reversed and pulled back right in front of Duncan. Instead, decided to try and pass rather than shoot.
And the officials tonight, Bennett Salvatore, Michael Smith, and Bill Kennedy working this game 1 here at the American Airlines Center. Here's Ginobili, up fake against Marion. To Duncan, missing the hook shot from the baseline. Dallas leading 11-10. Nowitzki against McDyess. Parker feinting to come over to double team, and a high arcing shot. How familiar is that from Dirk?
I don't know how I could explain to somebody at home how difficult a shot that just was, because he was defended about as well as you can by a 6'10" guy who jumps fairly well with long arms and still made it.
And 8 points for Dirk Nowitzki, and they're going to call Caron Butler with a tripping foul.
It's a combination of his size at 7 feet, the fact that he fades a little bit on that shot, and the fact that he puts the ball up high over his head. Watch, a little bit of a fade as he backs off away from McDyess, gets it up just high enough.
Butler will go out of the game and replaced by Jason Terry, who next to Jason Kidd, the best 3-point shooter on this Dallas team. He comes off the bench and gives them high-octane points from long range. Matt Bonner has also come in for the Spurs. Here's Duncan working against Dampier, and the fall away short again. Kidd defended by Bonner on the outside, overplaying his Bogans on Nowitzki. Double team. Terry with 7 on the shot clock in the lane. Marion. Rebound into the hands of Duncan. Under 4 minutes to go in this first quarter. This is a best-of-7 first round. First 2 games here in Dallas. And Tony Parker is fouled as he's driving to the basket. And that'll be the first foul on Shawn Marion.
I think after that fractured left orbital bone, okay, and the surgery on Jason Terry, initially he felt he still wanted to come out and wear that, but I see him out on the floor without the plastic mask tonight, and kind of had changed his mind in practices after getting whacked a few times by Eduardo Nahara and a couple other guys, but he came out without it tonight.
Second leading scorer, and Keith Bogans driving in, ball tipped away. He had a good shot at the layup there, did Keith Bogans, who was the shooting guard earlier in the year for San Antonio. Double team on Nowitzki, reposting with Bonner on him. And a 3-second violation called against the Mavericks.
You can see what San Antonio is doing. They're trying to confuse Dirk Nowitzki, give him looks at different times down the floor. That time Bonner played him. It was Bogans, the trip down before, much small man against him. That time, at the end, Tony Parker rushed him hard before the shot came.
So Tony Parker, who suffered a fractured bone in his hand against Memphis in March, came back, and George Hill did a tremendous job. So Hill and Parker are both in the lineup at the same time as Duncan gets his first points of the game. And the Mavericks still lead by 1 with under 3 to go in the first.
That was a little bit quicker move that time by Tim Duncan. Not quite as methodical. He went quick, assertive, got the basket.
Nowitzki into the corner. Kidd for 3. Hill the rebound. Quickly out to Parker. And Parker loses the ball on the drive. Here's Terry with Bonner back. Marion cleans up. And the Mavericks up by 3.
Sometimes you try to over-penetrate a little bit too hard. Tony Parker lost the handle that time. It winds up being 2 for Dallas.
So even though the Spurs want to play a half-court game, they'll take advantage when they have that opportunity on a missed shot or a turnover.
Well, he's got to get some easy baskets along the way. He understands that because of the number of points that Dallas can score.
Great basket on the baseline turnaround by Tim Duncan, looking like he's starting to get closer. He has 4 points with under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Dallas by 1. Terry hard off the back rim and knocked out of bounds. And it was last touched by the Mavericks. Rick Carlisle in his second year in Dallas. The Spurs and the Mavericks, regular season foes in the Southwest Division, and they seem to play in the playoffs every year. Let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks. 50 or more wins in 10 straight years. 10 straight years in the playoffs. And the big trade, acquiring Caron Butler and Brendan Haywood from the Wizards. A 13-game winning streak, almost right off the bat. Tied the longest in the NBA this year. Jason Kidd, a career-best three-point shooting season. 8 points better than his career average. But that big trade, the Mavericks went 23-7 over their last 30 games. And that was the spark plug. They have made some great moves in the last year and a half.
Yeah, and it was not easy for Rick Carlisle because remember, you're bringing on 3 key pieces, one of which goes right into the starting lineup. Caron Butler, what happens opening night? The city's so excited. They did this huge trade. They lose to Oklahoma City, the first game that they came back. And they had 4 games in 5 nights. But this man, Rick Carlisle, did an unbelievable job of kind of letting them freelance their way through those 4 games in 5 nights. They lost the opener, but then won the next 3 and went on to have that 13-game winning streak you talked about. And little by little, they got a chance to add some stuff in there along the way.
And the monkey on their back is that they haven't won a title, and this may be their best opportunity. They have tremendous depth. We know about their defense. And stars galore. George Hill into the corner. Bonner, good three-point shooter. Not that time, as the rebound taken down by, into the game is number 33. Brendan Haywood, who along with Caron Butler, Deshaun Stevenson, came over from the Wizards. Here is Kidd. For 3. Jason Kidd. Never been an outstanding shooter, but from three-point territory this year, he has been out of sight.
Yeah, he's shooting over 42% from the 3-point